Graduate Research Clinic, GRC, is a non-profit organization founded on the 28th of February 2018 by a group of graduate students at the University of Ibadan, Nigeria.
One of the most pressing issues that the GRC is positioned itself to address is the gap between knowledge and action in Africa, across sectors from urban planning, public health, energy transitions, education, and governance. There is no shortage of ideas and data, but there is a shortage of structured support to turn those ideas into competitive grants.
This project was birthed from the University of Ibadan, much like the legendary Mbari Club, to respond to a fundamental gap in graduate education and research praxis across African institutions of learning and practice.
We're doing like some projects that involves case studies, so we have to like find some information that you cannot just see like directly, so you have to like dive deep into either going physically to sites, you go sightseeing, you go to sites to get some information, and some you go online. I feel it's like time consuming and hectic at times, so it's just we have to do it, so we have to like still do it.
So far it's been just like between my peers. We've been having some projects, having to research on things that we had no idea about, and then also I've attended like several other like seminars now to get to know more things about my course. And yeah,
the GRC was created as an informal, intentional space. A space where undergraduate and graduate students, lecturers, early to late career researchers, tenured professors, independent scholars, and professionals within policy and practice communities in Africa and the African diaspora can come together to share perspectives, ask questions, and learn across generations of experience.
You know, it's a hub where people from different fields get to meet. So that itself is an achievement, that you are able to get perspectives of people from different fields on issues. The greatest takeaway for me is that interdisciplinary outlook, where if I throw up an issue, I get a wide range of opinions from people from different specialties and subspecialties. That I think is a great achievement for GRC.
That is one beautiful, stimulating intellectual space. I think the best that I have seen so far, in the sense that for me, basically, it is a space that gathers the best, you know, in terms of graduate students, in terms of scholars, in terms of intellectuals, young and old. All of us found ourselves within that space where we discuss, you know, where we take all manner of issues from politics to scholarship to Nigeria to Africa to individuals to collectives. So for me, that is what defines it for me, that we have old and young scholars from different, you know, perspectives, scholars from different areas, scholars from all kinds. It's an interdisciplinary and a transdisciplinary space.
Through an open and inclusive approach, the GLC connects, equips, and mentors researchers, helping to translate knowledge into meaningful African-centered actions.
GRC has been able to get a vibrant collective of young intellectuals together and integrated them into a mentoring and renewal relationship between the mentors and the mentees. So basically for me, it's the debate that goes on the platform, even more than the research grants or partnership with Codestra, which is quite encouraging. But more than that, I think is the fact that it has set up a dialogue and interaction. It's unique in the sense that this is the first group that has successfully brought together graduate students and mentees in Africa and the rest of the world together. The question of researches and so on is a matter of course. When you have such vibrant relationships built up, that comes up as a matter of course, you know. So identifying one or the other research grants in itself for me, it's just not. It's not the basis for assessing GRC, but the fact that there's a sustainable platform for growth and development that is changing the approach to graduate research, and that is creating opportunity also for learner support. Graduates are able to support one another, so you have peer support going on that is very dynamic. And then, of course, for those of us who are supposed to be mentors, there's a kind of reverse mentoring, like I would say, because we find a lot of these young people are more abreast with new information. They are more energetic in terms of their willingness to explore other perspectives.
In just 8 years of existence, the GRC community has grown to over 1,000 members spanning 32 countries across 6 continents, linked by a shared commitment to strengthening research and scholarship rooted in African realities.
I have moments where I think about GRC a lot, because that is one space that I'm always on. It is a space that is enlarging the scope of scholarship across Africa.
People are able to work without being disagreeable. So I think for that has really worked well for them. And then, of course, there's you see more original thinking now. The frames of thinking has gone wider than the scope of modern theories. So you can see that people are not just copying and so on. They are thinking outside the box in terms of how they see the world, how they analyze the world, what they do with theories, and how they try also to manage their knowledge in such a way as to innovate. And I think these are some of the things that happen. It also tells us that you don't need the classroom always as a place for intellectual development, because what we're seeing with GRC is something that doesn't happen within the classroom. Because it's also that a lot of time we underplay the value of peer support and peer support, peer review, peer inspiration. I can see sometimes that people are encouraging the other people and so on, and that it is set up now for the so-called mentors to weigh in. At the beginning, mentors were weighing more frequently, but now mentors are more like observing, and that also says that mentors are learning more now from the mentees on the platform.
The Graduate Research Clinic hosts seminars, symposiums, roundtable conversations, and training on critical and ethical research issues. It also collaborates with research institutions and knowledge hubs to support members in accessing research materials, grants, and professional opportunities.
Our long-time goal is to have these materials accessible out there in the world. People don't need to come on site. Our goal is to preserve this record, the physical records. But when you have them digitized, you will now have them locked up in a vault. And of course, constant, dealing with records will lead to wear and tear. So the role of digitization here is to help us preserve these records for a long time, and again to help us have our records access out there. People have more access to our records, whether they are archival records, whether they are photographs, whether they are audiovisual. The role of digitization is to help us further have these materials access out there.
Until now, the GRC has been sustained by something deeply human: the dedication, time, and collective effort of volunteers across diverse disciplines who believe in this vision and its possibilities.
The GRC is the biggest thing that is about to hit the continent of Africa. You heard me right. Well, you might want to know, how did I come across the GRC? Interesting. I joined as a volunteer, and I would say that was one of the best decisions I've made. Just those normal applications you make, and then before you know, you're in it already. And I wouldn't lie to you, since I joined the GRC, it has been quite interesting. It has helped to change my perspective. It has given me exposure beyond just my discipline. I've had to interact with people outside my discipline. That's also building me, or it has helped to expand my critical thinking ability. And one interesting thing about GRC, aside other things, is that it will help you bring that you in you that you never know existed. I've had to do things that I've never done before, and if I hadn't come in contact with GRC, who knows, maybe those me that I didn't know would have just been in the line. And also working with the team is a great one. Like, we have a very rich team.
I joined GRC in 2018 and I contributed different activities. I've managed projects, we've organized roundtables, we've organized symposiums and colloquiums at different times. And I know at least 2 times we've supported students in fundraising for their postgraduate programs. So this is another opportunity for us to say GRC is a place for you to be as a researcher, as a volunteer, as a practitioner, because research cuts across every space of life. Research is life, basically, and I enjoin us to join the moving train.
Earlier before, in my first degree, I didn't really have anybody to guide me on projects, except my lecturer. But now there are other outsiders I can actually see perspective on. So if you really want to get involved in projects, thesis evaluation, and all like that, I feel like GRC is the family that you need to belong to.
The GRC, Graduate Research Clinic, is making the difference in education in Nigeria and beyond. The networking capacity of this organization is beyond what you have seen. Early career researchers, postgraduate students, we are having seminars, workshops, and sessions that will change the game for you and help you move faster in your career and other things. The game of education is changing and you need to be a part of this. I'll see you there.
The GRC has been rallying different successful fundraising campaigns for fellow members pursuing their postgraduate dreams, as well as creating short and long-term employment opportunities for early career researchers and different professionals within and outside Nigeria.
The GRC will help tackle youth unemployment, underfunded universities, fragile institutions, and the marginalization of African perspectives in global research agendas.
We are looking forward to creating opportunities, solving research-related problems, and building an uncommon research structure that works in Nigeria and Africa at large.
My field is a field where we deal with collaboration. So you adding me to the GRC will give me a lot of edge because I'll be able to network with others. After school, I won't have to worry about going to different firms to be submitting my CV. So if I have connections like that, I can just start by, can I make your plans for this house? Can I make a design for you? Can I do this for you? Can I do project? To go a long way in my journey of being an architect. Involve me.
Your financial, institutional, and relational support will help us in achieving this vision. Support the GRC today by sending your donations to the corporate Naira